Alrighty then, we are back with another live edition of Guns and Gadgets because the news that has dropped this morning is so outlandish. I need you to know about it right away. First off, let's learn from the problem I had last time. Let me know if the audio is working immediately. I believe it is. I fixed that problem. It was an update for my microphone driver. Let me know right away if we are tracking audio and visual. And then I'm going to tell you what just happened with the Department of Justice at the orders and the behest of Joe Biden. And it is shocking. Good audio. Good. All right, we're going to jump right into this. This was released this morning on a Saturday, 23rd of March, 2024. This is for immediate release from the Department of Justice on a Saturday. And I've known about this for 2-3 hours. I went to the gym to try to clear my mind because this angered me, and it should anger you. And I want you to get involved, and I'm going to tell you what we need to do as a whole. But I've seen a couple Congress people mention that this was not something Congress authorized, and this was done without their authorization, meaning Joe Biden has ordered the Department of Justice to do this. Let me jump right to it. All right. From the Department of Justice, they have launched the National Extreme Risk Protection Order Resource Center. They want to red flag you. They want to red flag your mom. They want to red flag veterans. I've already done that video. And they're going to tell every single municipality, every single doctor, lawyer, family member who wants to know how to do it, they're going to hold classes for them. Let us get into this absolute craziness. I have to remember, I got to look here, but scroll there. The Department of Justice launched the National Extreme Risk Protection Order Resource Center, which will provide training and technical assistance to law enforcement officials, prosecutors, attorneys, judges, clinicians, victim service and social service providers, community organizations, and behavioral health professionals responsible for implementing laws designed to keep guns out of the hands of people who pose a threat to themselves or others. Remember, this is red flag stuff. This is no due process. Somebody says you're a risk to yourself or others. You don't get your day in court. Ex parte hearing. They take your rights. Before I go any further, they're in every state in this union, including the District of Columbia, which wants to be a state so badly. These two laws exist. One, domestic violence laws, restraining orders, which can, it's being challenged right now, but under 922G, if you have a restraining order, you can have your Second Amendment taken from you to keep everybody safe until calmer heads prevail. Two, if you are a legitimate risk to yourself or others because of a mental health issue or whatever, laws exist in every state where you can be taken to the hospital to speak with a professional, and if need be, against your will. Those exist in every single state. Extreme risk protection orders, red flags, ERPOs, whatever they're called in every in the state that have them, 21 states plus DC, if I remember correctly. They already exist. The only thing is they can't come take your guns without due process, and that's what this is all about. The launch of the National Extreme Risk Protection Order Resource Center will provide our partners across the country with valuable resources to keep firearms out of the hands of individuals who pose a threat to themselves or others, said Attorney General Merrick B. Garland. Remember, he's still pissed off that he's not a Supreme Court justice. The establishment of the center is the latest example of the Justice Department's work to use every tool provided by the landmark Bipartisan Safer Communities Act to protect communities from gun violence. Remember, Republicans sold us out, led by John Cornyn and Mitch McConnell, to get this to become law. Republicans sold us out last night, before the stroke of midnight, on this new spending bill, which has $25 million for gun control. Yeah. ERPO laws, which are modeled off of domestic violence protection orders, create a civil process allowing law enforcement, family members in most states, and medical professionals or other groups in some states to petition a court to temporarily prohibit somebody at risk of harming themselves or others from purchasing and possessing firearms for the duration of that order. In 2023, the Justice Department's Office of Justice Programs awarded $238 million to states territories and the District of Columbia under the Byrne State Crisis Intervention Program, which was created with the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act and is designed to help jurisdictions implement crisis intervention strategies, including red flag programs. Money to states to bribe them to start red flagging folks. In addition, OJP awarded $4 million to support training and technical assistance under the Byrne SCIP, including $2 million that was awarded to the Johns Hopkins Center for Gun Violence Solutions to establish the ERPO Resource Center. In collaboration with OJP's Bureau of Justice Assistance, the center will support states, local governments, law enforcement, prosecutors, attorneys, judges, clinicians, victims, services providers, and behavioral health and or other social service providers in their efforts to implement red flag programs to fit local needs, share resources and promising practices with the field, and help ensure that funding received through that Byrne SCIP is effectively utilized, meaning use your bribe money now and start red flagging people. This is a quote from Acting Associate Attorney General Benjamin Miser. Supporting our local law enforcement and community partners in curbing the scourge of gun violence is more critical than ever. Let's not go after criminals or stop the invasion at the border. The people who are armed in this country are the problem. In addition to other resources leveraged across the Justice Department, this center will provide communities with new tools and technical assistance to help them implement effective crisis intervention strategies and reduce gun violence. OJP's investment in ERPO programs demonstrates the department's commitment to addressing the gun violence crisis in the United States. And this is Assisting Attorney General Amy L. Solomon. The crisis cannot be solved at one level of government. We must use all of our resources and collaborate at the federal, state, and local levels to find innovative, evidence-based, and holistic solutions to help keep American communities safer, which is all bullshit. Through the center and its newly launched website, which I'm going to show you in a second, states, local governments, law enforcement, prosecutors, attorneys, judges, clinicians, victim service providers, and behavioral health and other social service providers will have direct access to critical information that will enhance their ability to reduce firearm homicides and suicides. They're not going to reduce anything based off of websites. The website will be maintained and updated to include newly developed resources for the field created through the center in partnership with the BJA. The website also provides a platform for the center to highlight emerging and promising practices in successful red flag implementation and connect states and localities to innovative strategies to take your guns and save lives. As of this month, 21 states and the District of Columbia have enacted red flag laws. Successful and effective red flag implementation requires a comprehensive and holistic approach that incorporates a wide range of stakeholders. The center is designed to provide resources consistent with that need. This came out this morning. Red flag has been used as a weapon, just as in a lot of cases, and I'm not saying in every case, but in a lot of cases, restraining orders, domestic violence restraining orders. It is a tool used by attorneys to jam up not their client, but the other party. Red flags are too. We've seen people lose their lives based off of red flags issued because of a family argument where one wanted to get even with the other. The red flag is nothing to ignore, guys and gals. They're going to try to implement this across the board in every state. Let's go to that website that they talked about here. I'm going to have to change this here and go to what's this one called? This one. Share. Officer Tater Hater. That's a cool name. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, guys and gals, if you could like and share this, I know it's a Saturday and not a lot of people are going to be available to watch, but this is extremely important news that just came out. The DOJ, if you missed the beginning, they're doing this on their own. Congress has not ordered them to do this. Congress has not authorized them to do this. They're just doing it because Joe Biden wants to take guns and the Second Amendment while shoving more people in the country who they want to arm, who have more rights than us, and they're not even an American. So, yeah, let's get into this. Is the website that they're sending everybody to. See if I can use my. It's not going to grow. There we go. All right. I'll try to keep it at a size you can see. But this is the John Hopkins Bloomberg. Of course, Michael Bloomberg runs this if you're not aware of that. This is the National Extreme Risk Protection Order Resource Center that whole soliloquy the DOJ put out this morning is about. This is what they say. All right. I don't endorse any of this. I just want you to see what your local governments, your local police, your judges, your prosecutors, this is a new tool and information that they will all have at their fingertips as of this morning. A tool to save lives. ERPOs, red flags, is a civil court order that temporarily restricts firearm access for an individual who is behaving dangerously or presents a high risk of harm to self or others. All right, these are the resources, okay? You can read more about the center, which I don't care about the center, okay? And then if people don't know what a red flag is, it's going to give you the feel safe. This is what we want to do. We want to unicorns and rainbows, man. Everybody can be safe. Everybody has a right to safety. You don't. You have a right to keep yourself safe. It's called the right to keep and bear arms, but you do not have a right to be safe, and that might hurt somebody's feelings who's watching. I don't care. Read the Constitution. Read the Bill of Rights. You do not have a right to be safe. Just like you don't have a right to health insurance. You don't have a right to cool sneakers. You don't have a right to have an iPhone if you're unemployed and on welfare. You don't have a right to these things. But you do have a right to keep and bear arms. And that really, really pisses off the establishment who's trying to disarm us at a rate never seen before, in this country at least. So if you're curious of what states are red flag states, the 21, California, Colorado, why is it not coming across? Come on, work with me. All right, the drop-down menu is not going to show, so I'll read it to you. California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, DC, Florida, Hawaii, Illinois, Indiana, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Oregon, Rhode Island, Vermont, Virginia, and Washington State. All of those states will jump at the chance to steal your rights based off of the whim of somebody else. That doesn't have to be proved through a trial, which if you were charged with a crime, it would be. You're not charged with a crime for red flag. You don't get those rights. And here's the kicker. It's a civil process. Your rights to an attorney, that doesn't exist. You have to pay on your own. So those are just some things I want you guys and gals to know. I'm going to show you some more about this. Robert says, already shared this. Thanks for keeping this updated. Thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate you. Jesse, how we doing? I can't thank you enough for all the hard work and research you do. Thank you. I can't thank you all enough for watching, because if you all don't watch, this is really weird. I'm just talking to a camera in a spare room in the house. So this is what your judges, everybody, police, everybody's going to be using this. Courts. These are the implementers in many states. Okay, cops, judicial officers, family household members, clinicians, attorneys, and social service providers. I'm not going to go into detail on that because it doesn't really matter. Then it goes over the process. This is for people who they're trying to convince to red flag people more. Okay, tells them every step. First, you got to file the petition. Then the judge approves or rejects, and blah 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 blah. They're going to take your rights away as much as they can. Due process protections. Let's see if there's really due process in this. The Bipartisan Safer Communities Act requires that ERPO programs funded by this Byrne program include the following due process rights. Notice. They have to tell you you're being red flagged. Well, that's usually knock, and like we just saw with the assassination of an airport executive, 6 o'clock, your door gets kicked in. Hey, we're here. That's your notice. That's not really due process. That's a warrant. An in-person hearing. Well, not all these states that I just listed have that. Most of them have, it's called ex parte, which means in secret. Only one party shows up, and it's not you. It's the people trying to get your guns taken away. An unbiased adjudicator. I don't think that exists anymore in this country. An adjudicator is a judge or a magistrate. I don't know if there is such a thing in America anymore as an unbiased adjudicator. If you think I'm wrong, leave the comment in the down below and let me know and tell me who it is and where it is, because they might be the only one deserving of a gold star on the forehead. No opposing evidence. Again, in the states that I mentioned, especially the early adopters of red flag, you don't get to know jack squat. You don't get to know the evidence. You don't get to cross-reference any witnesses. You don't get to bring your own witnesses. So this doesn't exist in most of the states. What does that mean? It means maybe they don't get the grant, but they're still going to they still want people red flagged at a higher level than they are now. And you know why they're doing this? To put pressure on the states? Because it's unconstitutional and they can't do it nationally. They'll never get it passed, at least right now, the way Congress is. But that could be changing here in the next couple of years with the influx of people who aren't citizens who will be on the census form, which will change the way districts are for the next election. Present evidence. You don't get to present evidence when you're being red flagged. You stand before a judge after the fact, after they kick your door in, after they take your guns, after you are left defenseless, after your neighborhood knows, after the news talks about it, after everybody who wants to do you harm knows now you're disarmed. And then after the fact, some it's a week, some it's 30 days, some it's longer, you get to tell the judge, hey, look, I'm not doing anything wrong. These people hate me because X, Y, or Z, or whatever the fact is. Confront adverse witnesses. You don't get to do that until after the action is taken, which means there's no due process. Due process happens before an American's rights are taken away. Before is due process. After is like, let's just make this look good now. The ends justify the means. I'm sorry, I'm slacking on the chat here. SF elected the first non-citizen Chinese. Yes, I saw that. And it's absolutely crazy that somebody who can't even vote in this country is making laws that you have to follow. It's insane. Thank you, man. Mike, I appreciate you. Really, really do, guys. So I'm poking holes here. Most of this we know. A lot of this, guys and gals, let's be honest, most people don't know because it doesn't affect them until it does, which is why I'm putting this out right now. You don't get to confront adverse witnesses. Let's see, be presented by counsel at no expense to the government. Let me read that again to you. I hope you caught that. Be represented by counsel at no expense to the government. That means you don't get a court-appointed attorney. It's a civil matter. So they're taking away a right, and then taking away a right where you get to defend yourself with legal assistance to get your rights back. Heightened evidentiary standards and proof, which mean not less than the protections afforded by similarly situated litigant. Again, they do not reach any level of proof, any standard of proof in the states that already have red flags, because it's an ex parte hearing. You don't get a trial. You don't have a judge decide if you're guilty or not of a crime. You're not even charged with a crime. They just kick the door in and they take your guns. And then penalties for abuse of the program. Yeah, right. I'm sure Democrats will go after Democrats who red flag too many people. Florida has red flagged the most people with red flag in the country. Nobody's doing anything to slow it down. And that's a Republican state. So we'll see what happens. The ERC closely monitors ERPO cases and rulings on ERPO and due process to ensure that it is aware of any changes in the law that may impact ERPO implementation. Yeah, okay. So these are some of the training. You know what? These are dates that they're training people. I'm not putting that up there because you guys don't need this training. And I'm not going to, I am not promoting their training so that people learn how they can disarm the public. So that is coming to a state near you if you don't have it. Tennessee, they're trying again this session to get it in Tennessee. For the states that don't have red flag that are watching, people who live in because there are people who will say, my state doesn't have this doesn't matter. I said this in a speech in Florida in front of some folks, and I'm going to use this opening more. I come from the future. I came from Massachusetts. What do I mean by I came from the future? Massachusetts is where liberty was born in this country, but freedom no longer resides. And if we don't stay active, we don't know what's going on. We don't know what to do when we're pissed off that something's going on, or we don't know what to do when we want something to pass and support it. Then we're not going to be able to stop stuff or help stuff. And what we don't want will be instituted and will come to your state. And if you don't believe that, ask yourself why 21 states now have red flag, including some states that have constitutional carry. So if you're saying my state's a constitutional carry state, never happened here, bullshit. bullshit. It will happen. So stay in the know. What do I want you to do as a result of this? I want you to call 202-224-3121. That's the switchboard for the U.S. Capitol. I'll say it again, and when I'm done with this video, I'll put it in the description and put it in the pinned comment. 202-224-3121. Tell them it's a switchboard. I won't say I want to talk to my Congress member or senator. You might have to call a couple times to get a hold of all of them. That's fine. It'll take 5 minutes of your life. And tell them, I want you to shut this down. It is unconstitutional. Your constituents do not want it, and you cannot take our rights. We don't get our rights from you. And when they say, what are you talking about? Because a lot of them aren't going to know. You tell them the DOJ just announced today on Saturday that they have launched the National Extreme Risk Protection Order Resource Center. The Red Flag Resource Center is alive in the federal government right now. Call them. There will be people who say, hey, it's not going to matter. We've called and stopped things recently that the Biden administration started on their own. If you remember, it was like 6 or 8 months ago, maybe a little longer ago, because I think I still might have been in Massachusetts, maybe a year ago. They hired this person who was going to be basically the czar of truthfulness. And they wanted to be able to shut us down based off of what a Biden administration official said was, like false information or misinformation. And how did that end up getting zonked? People called their Congress members, people called their senators at a rate to where we annoyed them so much, they said, all right, look, we got to stop this. And that's what I'm asking you to do now. Call Saturday, call Sunday, call Monday, call Tuesday, keep calling. Because if we do a one and done, it ain't going to work. We have to be that pain in the ass that the anti-gunners are, that the Bloombergs are, that the Moms Demand Action are, that everybody else. It's about to get real soon in this country. I hope everybody understands that. Guys and gals, if you could please smash the like button, please, and share this with like-minded folks. We need more people to understand our rights are being stripped. Subscribe to this channel down below. If you're new watching this, I bring you Second Amendment news every single day, no matter where it happens in the country. Subscribe to be part of it. It doesn't cost you a nickel. It's free. It just lets this algorithm know that people actually want this information. I love y'all. I appreciate you guys and gals. And together, we're going to keep ourselves free, but we have to do something. We can't just sit back, have our coffee and say, all right, that was a cool video, and then do whatever. So God bless everybody. Hope you're safe. Tell your family you love them. Enjoy your Saturday. And God bless America. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.